The Modern Knight, Become the Man She's Been Waiting For Through Confidence, Purpose, and Chivalry by Jamie Love. Copyright 2025. All rights reserved. No part of this publication may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means without the prior written permission of the author, except in the case of brief quotations used in reviews, articles, or educational purposes with proper attribution. This book is intended for personal development and inspirational purposes only. The author is not a licensed therapist or relationship counselor, and the content herein is not a substitute for professional advice. Readers are encouraged to use their own discernment and seek appropriate support as needed. The views expressed are those of the author and do not reflect any specific institution or organization. Dedication. The book was born not because I was seeking love, but because I had found it, and I saw firsthand how powerful it is when a man lives with confidence, purpose, and chivalry. This book is a gift to every man who desires to become the kind of partner that inspires devotion, trust, and soul-deep connection. Jamie Love. Introduction. She's already looking for you. Somewhere in the world, there's a woman who's praying for a man like you. Not a perfect man, but a man who's real. A man who lives with honor, a man who listens, who leads with integrity, who makes her feel safe enough to be her full, radiant self. She's not looking for games. She's not interested in being impressed by flashy moves or empty charm. She wants to feel something deeper, resonance, a connection that isn't just chemistry but soul. She's not waiting for someone to rescue her, but for a partner who meets her in her strength and grace. Someone who brings peace, not pressure. And here's the truth. You don't have to change who you are to become that man. But you do have to rise. This book is your invitation to do just that. Not through pretending, not by memorizing lines or playing a role, but by stepping into your most powerful, grounded, confident self. By reviving the lost art of modern chivalry and making it your own. By becoming the man she's been waiting for, and the man you have always known you could be. Why modern chivalry is your superpower. We've been told chivalry is outdated, that it belongs in old fairy tales and dusty history books. But chivalry isn't dead, it's just been misunderstood. Chivalry at its core is about honor. It's about showing up with integrity, respect, and purpose. It's about how you treat people when no one's watching and how you hold space for the people you love. In a world where so many people are disconnected, distracted, or chasing surface-level gratification, a man who lives by a deeper code becomes magnetic. You stand out. Not because you're loud, but because you're solid, grounded, safe, intentional, real. Modern chivalry isn't about being controlling or dominant. It's about being present, protective without possession, strong without ego, open without losing your center. That is rare. That is powerful. That is attractive. The sacred journey of becoming. Becoming the man she's waiting for doesn't happen by accident. It's a conscious path. You'll have to get honest. You'll have to grow. You'll be challenged to let go of distractions, excuses, and outdated beliefs that no longer serve the man you're becoming. You'll need to reconnect with your purpose, refine your habits, and take full ownership of your life. But the reward? Love that's not just exciting, but soul-nourishing. A relationship built on trust, intimacy, and truth. A partnership that fuels your growth and hers. A life that feels aligned, powerful, and peaceful. You don't need to be perfect to walk this path. You only need to decide that you're ready. You attract who you are. Let's get real. You won't attract a high-quality woman by chasing, impressing, or pretending. You attract her by becoming her match. She's working on herself. She's building a life she loves. She's learning how to trust again, how to listen to her intuition, how to walk in her worth. She's doing the inner work. So when you do yours, something powerful happens. You meet in the middle, already aligned. This book will guide you through that process. You'll learn how to lead with confidence and kindness, how to master your mind, your habits, and your energy, how to create sacred connection and lasting intimacy, how to stop looking for love and start becoming love. You don't have to settle. You don't have to chase. You only have to rise. She's already looking for you. Let's begin. Part 1. Becoming the Man You Were Meant to Be. Chapter 1. The New Code of Chivalry. What Knights Knew That We Forgot. There was a time when men lived by a code a way of being rooted in honor, loyalty, and courage. Knights weren't just warriors. They were protectors, leaders, and examples of noble strength. They understood that real power comes with responsibility, and that true masculinity is never about domination, it's about devotion. We may live in a different world now, but the longing for that kind of man hasn't changed. As a woman, I can tell you this with certainty. We're still looking for the modern knight. Not because we want to be saved, but because we want to be seen, cherished, and met by a man who lives with integrity, emotional depth, and purpose. What's been forgotten is not the gestures, it's the spirit behind them. Chivalry isn't dead. It's just been buried under cultural confusion and distorted versions of masculinity. But underneath it all, there's still a sacred code waiting to be remembered. The man who lives by this code doesn't need to be flashy to stand out. His presence says everything. He walks with quiet confidence, speaks with sincerity, listens with his whole heart. He holds space, not control. And he leads, not by force, but by example. This is the man women are waiting for. This is the man I believe you already are, deep down. And this book is here to help you remember how honor, respect, and kindness win her heart. Let me be direct with you. It's not about how you look or what you drive or how impressive your resume is. It's about how you treat people. It's about how a woman feels in your presence. And it all starts with honor. Honor is keeping your word, standing for something, being the same man behind closed doors as you are in public. It's treating others with dignity, not because of what they can offer you, but because you know who you are. Respect is more than politeness, it's attentiveness. It's listening with the intention to understand, not to respond. It's respecting her body, her boundaries, her voice, and her life, not just to get the girl, but because you truly see her. And kindness? That's your superpower, not weakness, not people-pleasing. True kindness is the expression of your strength. It shows up in the way you hold space for others, how you choose compassion over ego, and how you respond when it would be easier to withdraw or lash out. Women are deeply intuitive. We can feel the energy a man brings before he says a word. When you live with honor, respect, and kindness, you create an atmosphere where we can relax, open up, and trust. That's where attraction deepens. That's where real love begins. This is the new code of chivalry. It's not performative, it's embodied. It's not about control, it's about conscious strength. It's not about rescuing a woman, it's about rising beside her, so she feels safe to shine in her full light. And here's the beautiful truth. You don't need to become someone else to live this way. You just need to return to who you truly are beneath the noise, the pressure, and the outdated conditioning. The night is still within you. We're ready when you are. Chapter 2. Self-mastery is magnetic. You can't fake presence, you can't fake peace, and you definitely can't fake self-respect. When a man is grounded in himself, when he shows that he takes care of his body, his space, his finances, his life, it radiates. It's not about being rich or ripped or wearing designer clothes. It's about the energy of responsibility, the quiet strength that says, I've got me, so I can hold you too. Self-mastery isn't perfection, it's devotion. And that kind of devotion? It's magnetic. Let's talk about the 3 pillars of visible self-respect that instantly signal readiness for love: your body, your habits, and your environment. How fitness, cleanliness, and style speak volumes. You don't need to be a fitness model, you just need to care. A man who honors his body, who moves it, nourishes it, and treats it with respect, instantly sends a message. I'm not looking for someone to complete me. I already value myself. Taking care of your health shows that you plan to be here, fully. It says you're preparing not just for love, but for a life of vitality, partnership, and presence. That's sexy. So is cleanliness. And no, I don't mean obsessing over grooming or expensive skincare. I mean the basics: showering regularly, smelling good, trimming your nails, keeping your clothes fresh. These things might seem small, but they're not. They're energetic signals. Cleanliness communicates care. Care for yourself. Care for how you show up. Care for how your presence impacts others. Women feel this instantly. And let's talk style, not as fashion, but as intention. Style isn't about trends. It's about the way you present yourself. A man who takes even a little time to dress with care says, I know who I am, and I respect the space I take up. You don't have to wear anything fancy, just wear it with purpose. Financial integrity and responsibility equals reliability. Let's be real. It's not about having a certain amount of money. It's about how you relate to what you have. Are you intentional with your spending? Do you have goals? Are you building, saving, planning? Do you avoid unnecessary debt and make wise choices? That's what signals maturity, stability, and trustworthiness. Whether you're with a woman who values full financial independence or one who desires a more traditional dynamic where her man takes the lead in providing, what truly matters is your relationship with responsibility. Financial integrity is attractive because it shows that you're stable, dependable, and grounded. Some women feel most loved and safe with a partner who provides in tangible ways, not just through love and presence, but through financial support, security, and leadership. And there's nothing weak or outdated about that. The feminine longs to relax, to receive, to feel held, and for many women, a man who provides is a symbol of his devotion. It shows he's invested, that he's in it, that he wants to build something real. You don't need to be a millionaire to provide. You just need to be intentional, responsible, and generous in your spirit. That might mean paying for dinner, not out of obligation, but out of honor. It might mean creating a life where your partner feels safe to soften because she knows she can trust you to show up. Providing is not just financial, it's emotional, energetic, and practical. It's showing that you're capable, that you're consistent, and that you care. Not every woman desires to be provided for financially, but every woman wants to know that when life gets hard, her partner won't collapse under pressure or avoid responsibility. Financial integrity is about self-respect, and it tells her you've got your feet on the ground. Reliability is sexy. And a man who can manage his resources, no matter the amount, shows that he's reliable not just with money, but with everything: time, attention, energy, and emotion. Your space reflects your readiness for love. Let me tell you a secret. A woman can walk into your space and immediately know whether she could trust her heart with you. Your space is a mirror. A cluttered, messy, chaotic home often reflects a mind that's distracted or emotionally stuck. But a clean, intentional, peaceful environment? That's an invitation. It tells her, I've made room for you, not just in my house, but in my life. You don't need to have fancy furniture or perfect decor, but make your bed, light a candle, keep things clean and organized. Show that you care enough to create an environment of peace, for yourself first, and then for her. Women notice the little things, and your space speaks louder than your words. Self-mastery is magnetic because it's rooted in love for yourself and for the life you're building. When a man is living in integrity with his body, his finances, and his environment, it sends a clear message to the universe. I'm ready for real love because I've already become someone I can love. Chapter 3. Confidence with depth. Confidence is one of the most attractive traits a man can embody. But here's what most people miss. True confidence isn't loud. It doesn't need to dominate the room, brag, or chase validation. The kind of confidence that turns heads and touches hearts is calm. It's grounded. It's built from self-trust, emotional stability, and presence. It's the kind of confidence that says, I know who I am. I know what I bring. I don't need to prove myself. I just show up. And when that kind of man walks into a room, everything shifts. Let's break down the elements of real resonant confidence and how to embody it in a way that naturally draws in the right woman. Humble, grounded, unshakable confidence. There's a difference between arrogance and grounded power. Arrogance is loud. It needs attention to feel worthy. But grounded confidence, it's secure in silence. It's rooted in humility. A man who has nothing to prove is deeply magnetic. He's not trying to impress because he already knows his worth. He's not puffed up by ego, and he's not shaken by rejection. He's steady, calm, present. This kind of man doesn't chase approval. He carries inner approval. He's honest about his flaws. He's open to growth, but he never shrinks to make others comfortable. He owns his space without overpowering anyone else's. That's the sweet spot. A man who is fully in himself, confident but kind, strong but never forceful. That's the kind of energy a woman can lean into, trust, and rise beside. The art of charisma, humor, playfulness, and presence. You want to know one of the most underrated aspects of attraction? Playfulness. Playfulness breaks tension. It opens hearts. It lets her feel safe being silly, relaxed, and herself around you. When a man can laugh, especially at himself, it shows emotional maturity. He's not clinging to an image. He's alive in the moment. Charisma isn't about saying the perfect thing. It's about being present enough to enjoy the moment you're in. It's in the little things: a thoughtful question, a shared laugh, a warm gaze that says, "I'm here with you." Presence is irresistible. In a world full of distraction, a man who can hold eye contact, listen deeply, and enjoy the interaction, not just the outcome, is unforgettable. And when you pair that presence with a little playful teasing, a spark of humor, or a quick grin that lights up your face, that's charm. And that charm builds connection faster than any line ever could. Being real is irresistible. Let me tell you something straight from a woman's heart. Authenticity is the ultimate turn on. A man who isn't trying to be perfect, who shares his stories with honesty, who admits when he doesn't know, who shows up as himself without the mask. That man is unforgettable because realness creates safety. It says, "You can be yourself with me because I'm being myself too." You don't need to try harder to be confident. You just need to relax into your truth. Drop the performance. Let go of the pressure. Stop trying to impress and start expressing. When you're real, present, and grounded in who you are, the right woman will feel it. And she won't just be attracted to you. She'll be drawn to the way you make her feel. Confidence with depth is presence. It's warmth, it's truth. It's the quiet power of a man who knows himself and meets the world with openness instead of armor. Let the world meet that man. She's already hoping he exists. Part 2, Unlocking Your Inner Power. Chapter 4, Vulnerability is Strength. There's a myth that being vulnerable makes a man weak, that if he opens up, shares too much, or feels deeply, he'll lose respect, or lose the girl. Let me be clear, that myth couldn't be further from the truth. Vulnerability is not weakness. It's not emotional chaos. It's not neediness or oversharing. Vulnerability is presence without armor. It's the willingness to be seen, even when you're unsure, even when you're scared, even when you don't have all the answers. It's the courage to say, "Here's where I'm at," and to let someone truly witness you. Not just the polished parts, but the human ones. And that kind of man is unforgettable. Because he creates something rare: emotional safety, emotional openness, and the safety it creates. When a man is emotionally open, it gives a woman permission to be fully herself. She doesn't have to guess what you're feeling. She doesn't have to chase crumbs of connection or wonder if you're hiding behind silence. Instead, she feels safe. Safe to open, safe to express, safe to trust. Emotional openness means you're not afraid of your own heart. You don't run from sadness, anger, confusion, or joy. You allow it. You move through it. You express it in healthy ways. And when a woman sees that, she doesn't see weakness. She sees depth. She sees a man she can build a real relationship with, becoming a man she can trust with her heart. Trust isn't just about loyalty, it's about emotional responsibility. When a woman opens her heart, she's not asking for perfection. She's asking, "Can I bring my whole self here? Will you meet me?" To be that man, you don't need to have all the answers. You just need to be present. When she shares something vulnerable, don't rush to fix it. Just listen. Hold space. Let her feel what she feels, and let her know that you're not going anywhere. Trust is built in moments like these. When you own your mistakes without defensiveness. When you speak your truth even when it's hard. When you stay steady while she's navigating her own storm. That's trust. That's safety. That's leadership in love. Listening like it's sacred. Let me tell you something that will set you apart from almost every man. Listen like it matters. Because to her, it does. When a woman speaks from her heart, she's not looking for a solution. She's offering you a window into her world. When you truly listen, you're telling her, "Your inner world is important to me. Your feelings matter. I see you." Put down your phone, make eye contact, soften your energy, let her talk, and instead of planning your response, be in the moment with her. Ask questions that go deeper. Reflect back what you hear. Stay open, even if what she's saying is uncomfortable or unfamiliar. That level of presence creates emotional intimacy. And that's what most women are craving more than anything else. Not just attention, but true connection. Not just being heard, but being held. Emotionally, energetically, soulfully. When a man is strong enough to be vulnerable, when he listens without judgment, when he holds emotional space with grace and presence, that's the man we trust with our hearts. And once a woman feels safe in your presence, She'll open in ways that are powerful, radiant, and deeply intimate. You don't have to be a hero. You just have to be real. Chapter 5. Divine Masculinity and Sacred Sexual Energy. There's a fire inside every man, a powerful, primal energy that, when left unchecked, can burn through his life in cycles of distraction, temptation, and empty pursuits. But when that same energy is mastered, it becomes a sacred flame. It becomes creative fuel, spiritual power, and magnetic presence. Divine masculinity isn't about dominance, it's about direction. It's about knowing who you are, where you're going, and how to harness your inner fire for something greater than gratification. This chapter is about the kind of power that changes everything, not just how a man loves, but how he lives. Purpose, power, and self-control. When a man has no purpose, he becomes lost in pleasure. But when he lives on purpose, his energy shifts, his presence deepens, his life becomes focused and grounded. That's when he becomes deeply attractive, not because of what he says or does, but because of what he radiates. Self-control isn't about repression. It's not about denying pleasure or becoming rigid. It's about ownership. A man in his divine masculinity doesn't let impulses run his life. He chooses when to act. He decides what gets his attention, time, and energy. He doesn't seek validation through sex or chase fleeting highs, because he knows what he's building, and he's not willing to leak his power along the way. That level of self-mastery, it's rare. It's holy, it's magnetic, and it doesn't just attract women, it attracts destiny. Transmuting desire into magnetism. Sexual energy is life force. It's the same energy that builds empires, writes music, creates art, starts movements, and conceives life itself. When a man channels his sexual energy into his purpose, into his discipline, into his creative fire, he becomes unstoppable. His eyes shine, his voice carries presence, his energy walks into the room before he does. This is the secret most men were never taught. You don't have to release it to feel it. You can cultivate it, circulate it, use it. Desire doesn't have to lead to release. It can lead to revelation. When you learn to transmute sexual energy, you're not rejecting desire, you're elevating it. You're saying, this energy is sacred and I'm going to use it to become something more. That transformation is felt. It's undeniable. It turns heads and it opens doors. From lust to legacy, sexual energy as creative fuel. Lust wants to consume. Legacy wants to create. Lust chases quick fixes. Legacy builds deep foundations. And when a man makes that shift, from using his sexual energy to feed his ego, to using it to fuel his becoming, he steps into divine masculinity. He's no longer driven by instant gratification. He's no longer distracted by low-level impulses. He's anchored in his purpose. He becomes the kind of man who isn't just attractive, he's unforgettable. Because when a woman meets a man who's mastered his energy, who isn't ruled by it, but radiates through it, she feels it instantly. She knows she can trust him. She knows she can open. She knows she's met a man who's rooted in devotion, not desire. Divine masculinity is not something you perform, it's something you embody. And sacred sexual energy isn't something you suppress, it's something you honor, harness, and use to build the life and love you were made for. This is your legacy. This is your power. And when you rise in it, the right woman won't just be drawn to you, she'll feel safe to rise beside you. Chapter 6. Manifesting her by becoming him. The love of your life isn't something you chase down, force into place, or stumble upon by luck. She's not hidden in a dating app algorithm or waiting for a perfect pickup line. She's on her way to you when you become who she's meant to meet. This chapter is about frequency, alignment. It's about the truth that you don't attract what you want. You attract what you are. If you desire a high-quality, radiant, emotionally mature woman, you must first become the man who can hold her. That's the secret to manifesting your soulmate. Stop chasing. Start becoming. You don't chase love, you radiate it. Chasing love comes from lack. It's born from a belief that something is missing, that you need to find someone to be whole. But a man rooted in his truth, a man who knows his worth, who's building a life he loves, who walks with confidence and intention, he doesn't chase, he radiates. His energy speaks before his words do. His actions show he's ready. He's not desperately searching, he's living, fully, and the right woman is drawn into his orbit by the coherence of his being. When you become a man who is already in love with his life, a man who has cultivated peace, purpose, and presence within himself, Love doesn't have to be hunted, it simply arrives, because your energy is an invitation, aligning with her frequency before you even meet. You might not know her name, you might not know where or when you'll meet, but you can start aligning with her now. Ask yourself, what kind of woman do I desire? What is her lifestyle like? What are her values? How does she communicate? How does she feel emotionally, spiritually, energetically? Now ask, am I a match for that woman? Would the version of you today inspire trust, attraction, and deep connection in her? Or are there still areas calling for growth, refinement, or healing? This is not about performing to impress her, it's about aligning to meet her. It's about stepping into the frequency of the relationship you desire before it even exists. Because when you do, your life becomes a beacon, and the right soul will feel it, becoming the mirror of what you desire. What you're looking for in her, you must also awaken in you. If you want devotion, live with devotion. If you want deep presence, practice presence. If you want someone playful, grounded, radiant, and wise, become playful, grounded, radiant, and wise. You are the mirror. And when you become the reflection of what you long for, you don't just find love, you embody it. This is the true art of manifestation, not sitting around hoping for love to appear, but living as if it's already within you. Because it is. The woman you desire is already feeling your energy, even if you haven't met. She's growing, preparing, healing, just like you. And every moment you spend becoming more of yourself brings you closer to that inevitable meeting. So don't chase, become, and trust that the kind of love you're looking for is already looking for you. Part 3. Creating Soul-Level Connection. Chapter 7. Mastering Emotional and Spiritual Intimacy. There's a kind of connection that goes beyond words, beyond the physical, beyond the ego, beyond performance. It's the kind of intimacy that doesn't just touch the body, it touches the soul. It's tender, it's intuitive, it's safe, and it's rare. Most people have experienced surface-level connection, but true intimacy, the kind that awakens something inside of you, is only possible when both people feel safe to be seen, held, and loved without performance or pressure. And that safety? It begins with you. This chapter is about how to create that sacred space, not just so you can experience deeper pleasure, but so you can experience real love. Beyond the physical, true connection is energetic. You can touch someone's body without ever truly reaching them, and you can feel someone's soul with just a gaze, a word, or a moment of presence. That's the difference between physical attraction and energetic intimacy. When you're present, attuned, and emotionally open, you're no longer just being with a woman, you're feeling with her. You're entering into a space where energy speaks louder than words, and silence can be more intimate than sound. This is where real connection begins. When your eyes meet and everything else fades. When your hands move with intention, not urgency. When your energy says, "You're safe here. I'm not going anywhere." Women feel this. We know when your touch comes from your heart, not your ego. And when your energy is clean, centered, and loving, it gives us permission to drop our defenses, to open, to surrender into deeper levels of intimacy, not just with you, but with ourselves. Sacred love, sacred touch. When love becomes sacred, touch becomes a prayer. It's no longer about gratification, it's about offering. It's not about what you can get, it's about what you can give from your fullness. Sacred touch is slow, intentional. It begins long before physical contact. It starts in how you look at her, how you listen, how you hold her energy even when your hands are still. It's in the way you attune to her breath, the way you respond to her softness, the way you follow her lead and create space for her expression. When a woman feels sacred in your presence, she rises. She glows. She blooms. That kind of intimacy heals. It awakens. It transforms. And it's available to every man willing to slow down, drop into presence, and make love an energetic experience, not just a physical one. Creating a safe space for her soul to bloom. Every woman holds a garden of wisdom, softness, fire, and mystery inside of her. But that garden can't be rushed open. It won't bloom under pressure. It needs light. It needs patience. It needs safety. When a man creates that safety, she becomes unstoppable. She reveals her depth, her wildness, her sweetness, her devotion. Not because you demanded it, but because she feels safe to offer it. Here's how to create that space. Be emotionally consistent. Lead with honesty. Honor her pace. Don't rush her openness. Trust it. When you hold space without judgment, when you see her without trying to fix or mold her, when you listen to her spirit instead of trying to figure her out, something sacred happens. She lets you in, not just into her body, but into her soul. And when a woman lets you into that space, it's not just intimacy, it's initiation into a deeper kind of love, into a deeper version of yourself. Chapter 8. The language of love is listening. You don't need to be a poet to win a woman's heart. You don't need to have all the answers, the perfect response, or a clever line. What most women want more than anything is to be listened to feel seen, heard, held, not just physically, but emotionally. Because when a woman feels deeply understood, her whole body softens, her heart opens, her energy begins to flow. Listening is not passive. It's not just being quiet while she speaks. Listening is love in action. Let's talk about how to master this lost art and how it will transform your relationships forever. Real presence and gentle curiosity. Presence is the most attractive energy on earth. It says, I'm not distracted. I'm not performing. I'm here with you. When a man is truly present with a woman, she feels safe to reveal more of herself because she knows she won't be interrupted, judged, or brushed aside. Gentle curiosity is what makes presence feel warm. It's the energy of, tell me more. I want to understand you. Your inner world matters to me. You're not trying to solve her. You're not analyzing. You're witnessing her, holding her, inviting her forward. When you ask thoughtful questions and truly listen to the answers, you unlock intimacy most people never reach because you're not just having a conversation. You're co-creating connection, communicating with integrity and vulnerability. Communication isn't just about expressing, it's about how you express. When your words come from truth and your delivery comes from care, your voice becomes an instrument of intimacy. Integrity in communication means saying what you mean, following through on what you say, not using silence as punishment or speaking just to control. And when you pair integrity with vulnerability, you become emotionally magnetic. Let her hear your heart, not just your thoughts. If something scares you, say it. If you don't know, admit it. If you care, speak it clearly and without games. Vulnerability doesn't make you less of a man. It makes you more available as a partner. And when a woman senses that emotional openness, it's like a doorway opens in her soul, letting her feel seen, heard, and cherished. This is the key. You can't fake it. You can't memorize it. But when you genuinely listen with your heart, something sacred happens. She blooms. Here's what women wish more men knew. We don't need you to fix it. We don't need you to analyze us. We just need to know that our feelings matter to you. When you reflect her back to herself in a loving, grounded way, when you look her in the eyes and let her know, I see you, I hear you. You're not too much. You're not invisible. I'm still here. You become unforgettable. You become the safe space she never knew she needed. And in that safety, she becomes radiant. That's the magic of listening. It's not just about understanding her, it's about honoring her. And when you do, you don't just build connection. You build trust. You build devotion. You build forever. Chapter 9. The Woman a Knight Attracts. By the time you've done the inner work, by the time you've stepped into your confidence, cultivated self-respect, and anchored into your purpose, the game changes. You no longer attract from longing or lack. You attract from resonance. You won't be drawn to chaos, drama, or emotional games anymore because your nervous system has learned peace. You won't be tempted by shallow connections because your soul now craves depth. And the woman who meets you in this place? She is not ordinary. She's not looking to be rescued, fixed, or impressed. She's doing her own work. She's deep in her own becoming. She's been praying for a man who is grounded, generous, emotionally available, and spiritually alive. She's not looking for perfection. She's looking for truth, grace, feminine strength, and emotional depth. The woman a knight attracts carries a powerful combination: grace and fire, softness and strength. She's not afraid to be in her feminine. She embraces it. She loves to be cherished. She values kindness, attentiveness, and deep presence. But don't mistake her softness for weakness. Her heart is fierce. Her emotions run deep. And her loyalty? Unshakable. She's sensitive, intuitive, emotionally intelligent. She feels energy before she processes words. And she doesn't just want a partner. She wants a sacred container where she can fully bloom into her radiance. That's why your steadiness matters. That's why your integrity is everything. Because when a woman like this senses safety, she gives everything. Mutual respect and shared growth. The relationship you're calling in is not a hierarchy, it's a partnership. The woman you'll be drawn to now is someone you respect. She inspires you, challenges you, teaches you. You admire her strength, her self-awareness, her values. She wants to be led sometimes, but only by someone who listens. She wants to feel safe, but not smothered. She wants to grow, but she's looking for someone who's growing too. This kind of woman isn't interested in being your project or your possession. She wants to build a kingdom with you. Your shared devotion to growth becomes the glue, and your ability to honor each other's wholeness is what makes the relationship last. Recognizing her through resonance. You won't have to force it. You won't need to convince her or yourself. You'll feel her. The connection will carry an ease, a familiarity, a deep mutual knowing. It might not come with fireworks, it may come with peace, but make no mistake, that peace is holy. You'll recognize her by how you feel in her presence, more of yourself, more relaxed in your body, more called into your purpose, not less. Your values will align, your energies will complement each other, and even if you're different in personality, you'll fit. Because this isn't about perfection, it's about resonance. And when two souls align in truth, the relationship becomes a portal, not just for love, but for evolution. The woman a knight attracts is not just a partner. She's a reflection of his growth. She's the echo of everything he chose to become. And when she arrives, it won't be because you chased her. It'll be because you became the man she always knew she could trust with her heart. Knights mirror reflection to tune into her frequency. Take a quiet moment. Close your eyes. Breathe into your heart and reflect honestly. What kind of woman am I calling in? What does her energy feel like? How does she carry herself? What does her presence awaken in me? Now ask, would the version of me today feel safe, inspiring, and magnetic to a woman like her? Where am I already aligned with her energy? Where is there still space for growth? Not to impress her, but to become the man I respect and admire. And finally, if she walked into my life tomorrow, would I be ready to hold her heart, her depth, her light, her trust? Tune into her not by searching, but by becoming. Because she's already becoming the woman who's meant to meet the man you are choosing to become. Part 4. Becoming her safe place for life. Chapter 10. Love is in the little things. The truth is, most women don't fall in love with the big things. They fall in love with how you text her goodnight, how you remember the little detail she told you a week ago, how you brush her hair behind her ear and kiss her forehead when she's not expecting it. It's the little things that make a woman feel adored. And those little things? They're actually everything. Because what you do consistently becomes what she feels deeply, and what she feels consistently becomes love. The daily art of appreciation. Appreciation is not just a feeling, it's a practice. It's the conscious choice to notice her, to thank her, to acknowledge the beauty in her effort, her presence, her soul, to never take her for granted, even when the relationship feels settled. Here's the secret. The more you appreciate her, the more she glows. And the more she glows, the more she gives. Appreciation might look like a whispered thank you when she cooks for you or shares her heart. A random message in the middle of the day that says, "I'm thinking about you." Taking a moment to look at her with fresh eyes and say, "You're stunning." Not because you have to, but because you see her. Gratitude is foreplay, and it's the bridge between comfort and continued connection. How to keep the spark and strengthen the bond. The spark doesn't disappear over time, it just needs to be tended to. Think of love like a sacred fire. It doesn't need constant fuel, but it does need your attention. Here's how you keep the spark. Stay curious. Keep learning her, even after years together. Be playful. Tease her. Surprise her. Don't stop flirting. Keep showing up emotionally. Keep being vulnerable. Keep sharing your truth. Plan intentional moments, even small ones that feel like rituals of love. And above all, don't get lazy with connection. Comfort should never become neglect. When you keep choosing her, not just once but every day, the relationship becomes a living, breathing thing. And that bond, it only deepens over time. The way you show up becomes the relationship. Love isn't just something you feel. Love is something you do. It's in your tone, your energy, the way you enter the room, the way you handle conflict, the way you respond when she's tired, anxious, or vulnerable. Every moment is an opportunity to reinforce, I see you. You matter. We're in this together. Because your presence creates the atmosphere. And when a woman feels safe, adored, and appreciated on a daily basis, she relaxes into her femininity. She becomes even more radiant, even more generous, even more devoted. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be present. And you don't have to wait for big milestones to make love feel sacred. You make it sacred by the way you show up in the smallest moments. Love isn't a one-time win, it's 1,000 tiny offerings. And when you give them consistently from your heart, you don't just keep her, you keep earning her. Every day, every look, every little thing. Chapter 11. Weathering Life's Storms Together. Every relationship will face moments of challenge. Life will bring uncertainty, conflict, grief, stress, or unexpected change. But here's what separates surface-level love from soul-level partnership. It's not about avoiding storms. It's about learning how to stand together in the rain. When a man knows how to hold space, lead with compassion, and stay grounded through the chaos, he becomes the anchor. Not just for her, but for the relationship. This chapter is about that sacred strength, the kind of quiet power that helps a woman feel safe, even when everything else feels uncertain. Holding space in times of challenge. To hold space means to be present without trying to fix, avoid, or rush away from what's hard. It means being emotionally available even when things get messy. It's allowing your partner to feel what she's feeling without judgment or defensiveness. Sometimes that means sitting in silence with her while she cries, letting her be angry or scared without trying to shut it down, being honest when you're struggling, but still staying open. Holding space is love with presence and patience. And when you offer that presence, it becomes medicine. Because what heals us isn't perfection, it's being fully seen and accepted in our pain. Leading with compassion. True leadership in love doesn't mean having all the answers. It means being the one who stays kind, grounded, and emotionally steady, even when things are uncertain. Leading with compassion might mean apologizing first, diffusing tension with empathy instead of ego, speaking from love instead of fear. It's about asking, what does she need from me right now? And sometimes that answer will be presence, other times action, and sometimes simply silence and a strong hand to hold. Compassion doesn't make you soft, it makes you trustworthy. And when she knows that your heart stays open in hard moments, her trust in you becomes unshakable. Resilience through devotion. Storms don't have to break you, they can bond you, but only if you stay devoted, not just to each other, but to growth. Resilient love is built when two people say, we're not going to run. We're going to talk through it. We're going to fight for each other, not with each other. This kind of love requires maturity. Forgiveness, the ability to slow down and reconnect with what really matters. And most of all, it requires devotion. Devotion to being better, not bitter. Devotion to repairing, not repeating old patterns. Devotion to each other's healing, not just your own comfort. Because when you stay anchored in love through life's storms, the bond that forms isn't just strong, it's sacred. A true knight isn't just strong when the sun is shining. He's strong when the winds blow, when the skies darken, when the path gets hard. And the woman who stands beside a man like that, she trusts him with everything, because she knows that when life gets real, he doesn't disappear. He becomes even more present. Chapter 12. Building a legacy of love. Love doesn't end when the honeymoon fades. It begins again, deeper, more sacred, more real. And the man who's done the work to become grounded, present, emotionally intelligent, and deeply intentional doesn't just build a relationship. He builds a legacy, the kind of legacy that lives in her nervous system, that's felt in her smile, her softness, her radiance, that echoes in the lives you touch together, that ripples into your future family, your community, and your personal destiny. This chapter is about living with that depth, where love isn't just a chapter in your story, it becomes your way of life, being her piece, not her project. She didn't choose you to fix you. She chose you to build with you. She's not looking for another child to raise. She's looking for a man who knows how to carry himself with grace, growth, and grounded leadership. Being her piece means you communicate openly instead of making her guess. You take responsibility instead of shifting blame. You give her the safety to relax into her feminine, because she knows you've got the emotional and spiritual maturity to hold it down. When a woman doesn't have to be your therapist, your motivator, or your mother, she becomes your lover, your muse, your deepest ally. Let her rest. Let her soften. Let her trust that you've got you, so you can have her too, living your values every day. Your values are not what you say, they're what you live. Every action, every choice, every moment of presence is a reflection of who you are becoming. Live your truth even when it's inconvenient. Stay kind even when it's hard. Be generous even when no one is watching. That's how a knight builds his legacy, not with words, but with unwavering alignment. And when a woman sees that consistency over time, her devotion becomes unshakable. Because she knows, this is a man who walks what he speaks. You want lasting love? Be the man who doesn't just talk about love, he embodies it. In how he works, prays, loves, listens, leads, forgives, and shows up. The modern knight's sacred impact. You might never know the full impact your love has had on her. The way she sleeps better knowing you've got her. The way her body relaxes into joy because she feels emotionally safe. The way she shines more brightly because she's no longer surviving. You've helped her thrive. And that ripple effect? It goes beyond the relationship. It shows up in how you father, how you serve, how you lead. It shows up in the kind of world you create just by existing as a man who lives with honor, presence, and devotion. This is your legacy. Not just the love you receive, but the love you give. Not just the woman you attract, but the safety, growth, and elevation you create within the relationship. Not just the story you tell, but the impact you leave behind. The world needs more men like you. Men who lead with compassion, men who love with integrity, men who live by a code, not for validation, but for the soul. You are that man now, and she sees it, she feels it. She's rising with you. Your legacy has already begun. A letter from the feminine. Dear Modern Knight, thank you. Thank you for choosing the path of depth, devotion, and truth. Thank you for doing the work not just to attract love, but to honor it. I know this path hasn't always been easy. I know it's asked you to face your shadows, to soften your armor, to rise again and again when the world tried to harden you. But you did it. You chose growth over comfort. You chose presence over performance. You chose integrity when it would have been easier to run. And because of that, she will feel safe. She will feel seen. She will open in ways that even she didn't know were possible. You are not just a man. You are a safe place, a stronghold of light, a protector of what is sacred. You are the kind of man who rewrites generational stories, heals hearts just by how he listens, and anchors divine love into the human experience. I want you to know that we feel you. We see the way your presence changes the room. We feel the strength in your stillness. We trust the steadiness of your heart. This is the love we've been waiting for. This is the love the world needs more of. This is the legacy you leave, not just in her life, but in every life you touch. Thank you for becoming him. Thank you for answering the call. She's already waiting, she's already rising. And now, so are you. With love, the feminine.
The Knight's Vow. I vow to live with honor and integrity. I vow to protect peace within myself and in my relationships. I vow to love without fear and to lead without ego. I vow to listen deeply, speak truthfully, and hold space with strength. I vow to show up every day, not to impress, but to love well. I vow to become the kind of man who inspires trust, devotion, and radiance, not just once, but for a lifetime.
Conclusion. Begin now. She's already on her way. You've made it to the end of the book, but this isn't the end of your story. This is the beginning of something sacred. The path of the modern knight isn't about reaching perfection. It's about living with purpose. It's about showing up with intention, choosing love over fear, and building a life where connection, safety, and depth can flourish. You don't have to wait to become the man she's been waiting for. You don't have to wait to meet her before you grow, soften, and rise. You start now. This is not about perfection, it's about purpose. You're human. You'll still make mistakes. You'll still be learning. But the difference now is awareness, intention, integrity. Perfection is an illusion, but purpose is power. When you live by a deeper code, when you anchor yourself in truth, presence, and love, you don't have to chase alignment, you become it. Every moment becomes an opportunity to show up better. Every day is a new chance to reflect your growth, and every interaction carries the potential to leave behind something sacred. Love is created, not found. Love isn't something that happens to you, it's something you create through who you are. It lives in your habits, in your energy, in your self awareness, your discipline, your compassion, and your courage to open. When you live like the man you want to be before she ever arrives, you call her in without force. You magnetize her through resonance. And when you meet, it won't feel like searching, it will feel like recognition. The Knight's Code lives through you. This book wasn't just a guide, it was a mirror. And what you've discovered along the way isn't something to memorize, it's something to embody. The Knight's Code lives through how you speak, how you love, how you carry yourself in the quiet moments no one sees. It's in the way you show up when it's hard, in the way you soften without losing your strength, in the way you love not just her, but yourself. She's not just waiting for you to find her, she's waiting to feel safe, to feel chosen, to feel seen. And when you become the kind of man who offers that love, not just in words but in action, she will recognize you instantly. Not as a fantasy, not as a savior, but as home. So rise now, Knight of the Modern Age. You are ready. She is already on her way. And the love you've been longing for? It's about to find you in the man you've chosen to become.